You rest, but you don't actually relax. You lie down, but your mind starts scanning your unfinished tasks. You take a break, then feel this weird pressure in your chest, like you're falling behind even when nothing urgent is happening. Maybe you open your phone to rest, but end up comparing yourself to people who seem more disciplined, more successful, more ahead. And then the break doesn't feel like recovery. It feels like evidence against you. If that hits, keep watching, because this pattern has a name, and it's more common than you think. Today we're talking about why you feel guilty when you rest. There's a well-researched reason why your brain can confuse peace with danger. Especially if you've been trained to earn your worth through productivity. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the hidden loop behind that guilt, plus one practical shift that helps your nervous system stop treating rest like failure. This is a loop, not your personality. The first sign is that rest only feels acceptable after you've exhausted yourself. You tell yourself, I'll relax after I finish this. But the finish line keeps moving. After the homework, there's cleaning. After cleaning, there's replying. After replying, there's planning tomorrow. And when you finally stop, you don't feel peace. You feel like you're breaking a rule. Here's where it gets weird. Your brain may not be reacting to rest itself. It may be reacting to the loss of control. When you're doing, fixing, producing, or helping, your brain gets a sense of safety. Activity becomes proof that you're not falling behind. So rest feels dangerous because it removes the behavior that made you feel secure. This often starts when love, approval, or attention felt connected to performance. Not necessarily from cruel parenting. Sometimes it's subtle. Praise for being useful, respect for being responsible, approval when you were easy, productive, or impressive. Over time, your system learns. I am safe when I am doing. The next sign is subtle, but powerful. You might say things like, I'm just being lazy, when what you actually are is tired. Notice that. You don't say, my body needs recovery. You say, something is wrong with me. That language matters. Because guilt often turns a physical need into a character flaw. Your body asks for rest, and your inner critic replies with an insult. There's a difference between avoiding your life and recovering from it. Avoidance disconnects you from what matters. Rest gives you enough energy to return to what matters. But if you grew up in an environment where rest was mocked, dismissed, or treated as weakness, your brain may have learned to shame you before anyone else could. That's called internalization. A voice that used to come from outside becomes a voice inside. So now, even when nobody is judging you, you judge yourself first. Most people miss this one. This one can feel confusing. Your life finally gets quiet, but instead of feeling calm, you feel restless. You sit in silence and suddenly your brain starts searching for problems. What am I forgetting? Who's upset with me? What should I be doing? That's not random. That can be hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is when your nervous system stays on alert, even when the threat is gone. It's like your brain keeps the security alarm on because it doesn't fully trust peace yet. And here's the twist. For some people, chaos feels familiar. Not good, familiar. So when things are calm, the body doesn't recognize it as safety. It recognizes it as uncertainty. Maybe you learned early that quiet moments didn't last. Maybe calm was followed by criticism, conflict, or sudden responsibility. So now your body thinks, if I relax, I'll get caught off guard. That guilt is not wisdom. It's old protection. Here's where it gets weird. You don't just want to get things done. You want your completed tasks to tell you that you are enough. A finished assignment says, I'm responsible. A clean room says, I'm not a mess. A busy schedule says, I'm valuable. But the problem is, proof expires fast. You feel okay for a moment. Then the guilt returns, so you need another task. Another win, another reason to respect yourself. This is how productivity guilt becomes a loop. In mid-loop, it can feel logical. I'm just being disciplined. But discipline builds your life. Shame drains it. This is a loop, not your personality. The researched reason is simple. The brain repeats behaviors that reduce discomfort. If working reduces guilt, your brain learns to work every time guilt appears. Not because work is always needed. Because relief is addictive. Maybe as a kid, being helpful made you feel noticed. Maybe being high-achieving made you feel safe. Maybe being low-maintenance got you approval. So now rest feels like losing your role. The next sign is subtle, but powerful. You sit down, but then you notice someone else might need something. A message unanswered. A friend who might be disappointed. A family member who might judge you. So you get up, you perform care, you over-explain, you make sure nobody can accuse you of being selfish. But here's the truth. Rest can feel selfish when you were trained to be useful before being human. This often comes from a survival pattern called people-pleasing. People-pleasing is not just being nice. It's scanning other people's moods so you can prevent tension before it happens. And that takes energy. A lot of it. If your younger self learned that peace depended on keeping others happy, then rest may feel unsafe because it means you stop monitoring the room. You stop managing everyone's emotional weather. But you are allowed to have a body. You are allowed to have limits. You are allowed to not be available every second. Most people miss this one. This one can hit deep. When you're not achieving, you feel empty. Not peaceful, empty. You don't know what you enjoy. You don't know what you want. You don't know what to do without a goal, a deadline, or someone needing you. So you reach for achievement again. Not because you love it, but because it gives you an identity. Here's where it gets weird. Sometimes the guilt isn't about the break. It's about the silence underneath the break. When you stop moving, feelings you outran start catching up. Loneliness, uncertainty, anger, sadness, confusion. And instead of listening, you go back to being busy. That's rumination mixed with avoidance. Your mind circles old worries. And productivity becomes a socially accepted escape route. Maybe nobody taught you how to simply exist without proving something. Maybe rest was never modeled as healthy. It was treated as weakness, laziness, or wasted potential. So now achievement feels like a personality, when it's actually been a hiding place. The next sign is subtle, but powerful. You take the break. Technically. But mentally, you're attacking yourself the whole time. You're wasting time. Other people are ahead. You don't deserve this. So your body is sitting still, but your nervous system is still working. That's not rest. That's guilt with a blanket. Real rest requires permission, not perfect circumstances. Permission. And that permission might feel uncomfortable at first because your brain is learning a new association. Instead of, rest means danger, you're teaching it, rest means repair. Instead of, stillness means failure, you're teaching it, stillness helps me return. This is where the past connection matters. If you had to earn approval, earn peace, earn attention, or earn your place, then unconditional rest may feel foreign. But foreign does not mean wrong. It means unfamiliar. And unfamiliar can become safe through repetition. So what do you do with this? You don't fix rest guilt by yelling at yourself to relax. That just creates another task. Instead, start small. Try a 5-minute rest where the only goal is to notice what guilt says. Not obey it, not fight it, notice it. You might hear, "You're falling behind." Then answer calmly, "I'm recovering so I can continue." You might hear, "You don't deserve this." Answer, "Rest is not a reward. It's maintenance." You might hear, "People will think you're lazy." Answer, "My worth is not measured by constant availability." That may sound simple, but it trains the nervous system through repetition. The brain learns safety through repeated evidence. A break does not have to be long to be real. 1 breath without apology counts. 10 minutes without checking your productivity counts. A walk without turning it into self-improvement counts. This is how you begin to unlearn toxic productivity, not by becoming careless, but by becoming honest. Because the goal isn't to stop caring about your life. The goal is to stop using guilt as your manager. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not weak because rest feels hard. You may simply have a nervous system that learned to associate safety with usefulness. And when a pattern has been repeated for years, it can start to feel like identity. But it isn't. It's a mechanism. A learned response. A survival strategy that may have helped you at one point, but now costs too much. There is a part of you that still believes you have to earn softness. Earn quiet. Earn care. Earn permission to stop. But rest is not something you unlock after becoming perfect. Rest is part of being human. You can be ambitious and still need recovery. You can be disciplined and still take breaks. You can care about your future without treating your body like an enemy. One last thing. The deepest shift is not, "I need to rest more." It's this, "I am allowed to exist even when I am not producing." That sentence can feel uncomfortable because it challenges the entire system. But that's the work. When you feel guilty when you rest, don't just ask, "What should I be doing?" Ask, "Who taught me I'm only safe when I'm useful?" Not to blame them. To free yourself from repeating the lesson forever. Rest is not quitting. Rest is how you stop abandoning yourself in the name of being impressive. And the more you practice safe, intentional rest, the more your brain learns. Nothing terrible happens when I stop. I am still worthy here. I've linked something in the description and pinned comment that I think a lot of you will find genuinely useful. It's a bundle of simple structured guides designed to genuinely help you understand your patterns, calm your nervous system, and rebuild healthier self-trust one step at a time. No pressure, just something practical if you want support beyond this video. Comment one word below. Rest, if this made you feel seen. And if you want more calm, sharp psychology videos that help you understand yourself without shaming yourself, subscribe. This video is for educational purposes and not a substitute for professional advice. This is a loop, not your personality. See you there.